All right, chat. We got more. They just keep getting more and more expensive. More and more expensive. Anyways, this is why I decided I guess we are going to wait on the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom playthroughs on the channel.
Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom games will both have Nintendo Switch.
I have them both. Of course, I have them both. I'm a gamer. And I love them both. But I gotta say that Tears of the Kingdom, I love Tears of the Kingdom so much. Tears of the Kingdom was my favorite out of the two. Like, Tears of the Kingdom was. It is such a perfect game. It is probably one of my favorite games. Okay, chat, I don't know if you guys know. What the hell? What kind of accent just came out of me? I don't know if you guys know how much of a Legend of Zelda nerd I am, but Legend of Zelda is my childhood game. This is I am a big Legend of Zelda nerd, like bigger than Pokemon nerd. I am such a big Legend of Zelda nerd. I have Legend of Zelda tattoos on me. Okay, I have a big Master Sword on the back of my leg. I have a Triforce on the back of my leg. I got a full-on fucking Legend of Zelda sock that I want to get. Okay, like I am a Legend of Zelda nerd. I have played all the games. I love all the games. Even the Oracle of Seasons and stuff. Those ones are so underrated. Um, I love The Legend of Zelda. Okay? We might not be able to play Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. Well, we could play them if I wanted to, really. But I want to wait for the HD versions, for the Switch 2 versions. I want to see them in their full fucking glory. Okay? But there are other Switch Legend of Zeldas that are uh, that we can play that don't seem to be getting a Switch 2 edition. So like there's the Link's Awakening remake, which I haven't played since I bought it. There's also the Echoes of Wisdom. There's the only Legend of Zelda games I haven't played are the Hyrule Warrior ones. I never really was interested in games like that though. So like I feel like the Hyrule Warrior games they're really going for a certain audience. However, I've been thinking about getting one just so I could probably the first one just so I could try it out, see how it actually is, and I might actually like them, and then I'll probably end up getting the rest of them. Wind Waker for the win. I love Wind Waker. I want them to remake Wind Waker. I love Twilight Princess. I would love for a Twilight Princess remake because I loved the dark atmosphere that Twilight Princess had, and I was hoping that Tears of the Kingdom would have a much darker atmosphere like Tears of the Kingdom, but unfortunately it really didn't. It does in like the underground area, but it didn't really in the rest of the game. Um, but I love Wind Waker. I honestly like. I have a feeling that I have a feeling that the next Legend of Zelda game is probably going to be a game that has a flooded map. I talked about this before I was a streamer, but like it just makes sense if like they can continue using the current map that they currently have for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. They can make another addition in Tears of the Kingdom. But they probably won't. But yeah, thinking on it because they've already made two, and on their bigger games they tend to make two. Like for um, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. For Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, they did that. They didn't really do it for Twilight Princess, or Wind Waker. So who knows? Maybe they can. You think they're gonna keep the building concepts and stuff they added in Tears of the Kingdom? I would hope so. I would hope so because it's really something else. But if they do, they're going to change them. They're going to change the building concepts. I think the next Legend of Zelda is going to be a Legend of Zelda like Wind Waker, and I'm hoping that it's going to be like I'm thinking it's going to be like a Wind Waker Tears of the Kingdom hybrid. You play both of what on your PC? Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask? I played them on the OG on the Nintendo 64. I used to have the original game cartridges for them. I used to have the gold one for the Ocarina of Time, I think it was, and then the silver one for Majora's Mask. Maybe it was backwards, but I used to have them. I still do have. I have the Legend of Zelda Legendary Edition for the GameCube, and then I also have. I also had the Nintendo Switch Online subscription that also had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But basically I have like 3 copies of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. You play Breath of the Wild into the...
2 editions. Jump back into the adventure, now with enhanced resolution and frame rates.
That looks
They
beautiful.
both support HDR, which makes the image
See, with this one, I can actually tell the differences between the versions, between the old version and the new one, because I played the both of them, and I could see the difference in the textures, and the textures look so fucking amazing.
more vibrant, and they have smoother, higher definition graphics. Plus, the load times when warping are much faster, helping you explore Hyrule with ease.
That's one thing I'm also excited about. But this is for Breath of the Wild. I could tell because of the enemies right here. These are the enemies for these are the dungeons that you I say in quotation marks. These are the things that you go and go through in Breath of the Wild. I don't remember the names of them, Rupdal or something like that. But they're the things. You know what? I might actually play Breath of the Wild. I might actually play Breath of the Wild before the HD remake, before the HD version comes in, because there's no really a reason to wait for. There's no real reason to wait for the Breath of the Wild like upgrade version, because all it does is like, yeah, it upgrades the textures and stuff like that, but the game's already beautiful. It doesn't really add anything additional into it. However, with the Tears of the Kingdom, you'll see later that it actually does add in some additional things. But also, I mean, like, oh, I would love to play Tears of the Kingdom with the upgrade.
If you already own the Nintendo Switch games, your save data can be carried over. On top of that,
Girl, you barely even game to say that you're retiring from gaming, okay? You barely even game to say that you're retiring from gaming.
you can now create 2 manual save
Is it a free upgrade? No.
data files, so feel free to start a new game without worrying about losing your old data. And introducing Zelda Notes, a new feature that can help you get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule. It's a game-specific service found in the Nintendo Switch app on...
See, they're trying to make a reason for people to use their Nintendo Switch app, but their Nintendo Switch app has been so useless since day one. Like, there has literally been no reason to even use it. They had the voice chat through there, but like, what's the point of having the voice chat through the phone and not through your fucking, like, the game instead? It made no sense. It made no sense. So, like, Nintendo, do better on this part, please. Please do better on this part for the Switch 2.
smart devices that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these games.
But I do want to say that what they had for what they added in for the Zelda notes is fucking cool. You'll see what I mean.
It's designed to provide a more streamlined gameplay experience. Let's go over some of the new features you'll find in Zelda Notes.
Hold on. I was taking a drink of my drink, but I want to see what all that was right there.
Over some of the new features you'll find in Zelda Notes.
All right, let's see here. There's voice memories, which is one of the cool. Yes, they have an app. They've had an app, which is dumb. Like, the app was just mainly for chatting with your friends that also own a Nintendo Switch. They should have just put it on the console or integrated Discord. They should have just, integrated it to the console or or they should have just put it on the console or integrated Discord. But now, since they're actually adding things like this could change everything. some voice memories, which is going to be a cool thing. It sounds like something that's going to happen like when you like walk into like a new place and somebody like Zelda, for instance, will talk to you. Navigation sounds like you have in-game GPS now. My play data, don't know what that's going to be about. It's probably going to be, well, I don't know. What's the difference between, okay, so maybe just your data within the game, and then there's going to be like everybody's data. Daily bonus, I'm not quite sure what kind of daily bonus that could have. Amiibo, we already all know what Amiibo is. Photo Studio, that's going to be cool. I took a lot of selfies in Tears of the Kingdom. This will be fun to have. Item sharing, that I don't have friends. I don't know who I'll be sharing items with. Voice memories, that was already there. Anything different here? Oh, auto build sharing. That would be cool for like, okay, if this has like an online version so that with if this has like an online like to where like people online like with that like Animal Crossing like you could share like certain designs. If they did something similar with this auto build sharing, then that would be very cool. Because like people make some crazy shit with within Tears of the Kingdom that I've seen. I've seen some people like made like fucking robots stuff in Tears of the Kingdom. And Amiibo is a figure. I have Amiibos. I'll take a picture and send one in the Discord later. But they're like figures that hold in-game items. And if you hold them up against your controller, then while in Amiibo mode, then those in-game items will appear there, and then you can pick them up. Or that's just for like Tears of the Kingdom. For other games, then you unlock certain things that you could use for like skins and stuff like that. But they're really cool figures. Here, actually, really fast chat. I'm gonna go get one of mine so I can show what a amiibo is, and I'll post it in the Discord. Okay? Avatar back. Oh no, my avatar crashed. Not the computer one, but the one on the phone. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. There we go. We're back. But yeah, that's what amiibos are. Amiibos are these figures. I love them. I want more. You might be a Debbie, but you're not a downer. You're more like the grandma version of a Debbie. I'm calling you old, but not like old physically. You're just old mentally. Yeah, figures that you could use in game. Figures that you could use in game. They're very fun.
Locate shrine.
I'll use them a little bit while we are doing our whenever we do a Breath of the Wild playthrough. I'll use them a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit. Yeah, you're like a Nana Debbie. Oh, no. That brings back memories. I'd rather not talk about a Nana. You'll take that? Okay, cool. We're gonna use a different name than Nana though. That one makes me sad. During our Breath of the Wild playthrough, I'll use some. Same thing with the Tears of the Kingdom. I'll use some just so you guys can like see what they all do and stuff like that. So I guess I'll be playing with my Joy-Cons instead of my Pro controllers. Yeah, she was an accidental Debbie Downer.
You haven't cleared, or Koroks hiding around Hyrule. That's where navigation comes in handy.
Guidance activating.
See? Fucking GPS! It's a fucking GPS!
Proceed north.
That's fucking hilarious.
It'll provide a helpful, voiced guide.
Your destination is north of here and close. Your destination is above. Your destination is nearby. You have reached your destination.
What the hell?
Guidance deactivating.
What the hell? I can't believe they put a fucking.
Search for all sorts of things.
I can't believe they put a fucking GPS in Tears of the Kingdom.
When you visit certain places, you can hear voice memories.
Okay, before you get to the voice memories, that is fucking okay. That's gonna be so helpful. But that's so fucking crazy that they added in a fucking GPS for Tears of the Kingdom. Anybody else think that's crazy? I think that's crazy. Yes.
My study. I found a silent princess in a corner of this desolate room. How many years?
These are stories that weren't in the original games. Voice memories can be located using navigation.
Your
That's so cool.
destination is nearby.
Also, those can also be found with the
The door
GPS.
creaks. I shudder to think of what would have happened if Link hadn't led everyone here.
That's so cool.
Plus, in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you won't just hear stories from Princess Zelda.
This altar is considered the most
Oh!
holy place in the temple.
You can look forward to hearing stories from 2 other characters
The underground, this place right here, was one of my favorite places in Tears of the Kingdom.
as well.
Is this the
Master
afterlife?
Koga, huh? Is this the afterlife?
In The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you can freely create your own vehicles and weapons.
Uh-huh.
But have you ever wanted to share your creations?
Yeah. But how?
With auto build sharing, you can create QR codes to share blueprints with others,
Okay,
even
but
on
can-
social media.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about that thing. So they are going to make it to where you can share it on social media. That's like they're doing it in like Animal Crossing. That's going to be so fucking cool.
When receiving a QR code, you can scan it with Zelda Notes and use materials to auto build the creation in your game.
That's so cool.
Another thing you can do with QR codes is gift in-game items to other players.
I don't know why you would want to do that though. Like, I guess if you like
For
put
example,
like hundreds of
when
hours
gifting
into
a
the game.
sword or some meat, you
I don't understand why you would want to do this. I guess the only thing I can think of is like if you like because like anybody could go and get the items. Like you could go get any item that you want at any point in the game. I guess it's for like people that have like farmed the hell out of the game and they're like trying to help their newbie friend just like get like a boost. I guess at the beginning of the game. That's the only thing I could think of. But because like that's a prime piece of meat right there. That one gives you a lot of hearts. And then this is like a royal grand sword or whatever the fuck it's called. This is like one of the weapons that you can only get within the castle. But like, so like, that's the only thing I could think of. But like, I don't see the point of it. Oh, hello, Ophelia. I thought you were here earlier, but well, I'm glad you're here now. Hello, hello.
you can create a QR code. Then
We're still in the yapping process. We haven't even gotten to game yet.
another player can receive it in their game via Zelda Notes. With Photo Studio, you can edit photos taken
Oh, okay.
in-game
I'm excited for this
by
feature.
sending your pics to Zelda Notes. You can crop them and decorate them with stamps. Or add a QR code to share your creations.
Okay, hold on. That's one thing that I thought about for the new Nintendo Switch 2. I hope they have made a better way for you to actually get your screenshots, because like beforehand for the Nintendo Switch 1, for you to get your screenshots, you have to so you go to share within the Nintendo Switch 2, and then through the Nintendo Switch 2 there will be like a QR code that you can scan like this. But what it does, you scan it with your phone's camera, and then what it does is it takes you to like a specific Wi-Fi within the Nintendo Switch 2, and then after you scan that and get the specific Wi-Fi, then you scan another QR code through your camera, and that takes you to the actual web URL, so you can pull up the thing, and then while you're on the Wi-Fi and on that specific web URL, you then install the image, and then you gotta put your phone back to the original Wi-Fi because that one's gonna stop working. And yeah, it was just such a hassle. So I hope they build like a better version of that. Like hopefully like now your screenshots will sync. See, that's one thing that they could do with the with their app. And they could make it to where your screenshots sync to the app automatically, like, you know, with Xbox or PlayStation, versus you having to go through all that bullshit.
My Play Data keeps track of different records since your adventures began, such as the number.
Oh, okay. So this will be a good way to actually get the amount of hours. Well, actually, Legend of Zelda always gives you your hours, but this tells you how many chests you've opened and everything else. How many? Damn, that's a lot of rupees.
Number of enemies
Actually, no,
you
that's barely any rupees. Poor ass hoe.
defeated.
Psh, I could get more rupees than that in my sleep.
You can even earn in-app medals based on your records. Aim for new medals and goals, like total distance traveled or rupees collected.
Wait, hold on. So you can earn trophies. Are they finally adding like a PlayStation like trophy system or like an Xbox achievement system to where like you actually have goals now instead of you just like doing things throughout the game without getting anything like any sort of you did this. It looks like it. Medal status. I hope so.
With global play data, you can see where your records rank within the global community.
I'm gonna be at the top of the fucking leaderboards on Tears of the Kingdom, I tell you what. I
On
swear
top
to
of
God.
comparing your data with other players around the world, you can also see your gameplay
goddess.
trends.
Daily bonus. So what does this do?
Once per day, you can spin for a daily bonus.
Interesting.
You'll be granted whichever in-game effect it.
So there was a lot there. There's Bright Mill, which allows you to like, you know, glow. Which will be very good for like the underworld. Rapid Mill. I'm not quite sure what that one does. Bow repairs. Interesting. Interesting. So I guess that repairs your bows. Fireproof elixir. Hasty Mill, which will speed you up. That's how I want. That was very self-explanatory on the fireproof. It makes you fireproof. Stamina recovery. So that's
lands on for
really
the day.
cool. What others are there? Let's see here. Hasty makes you faster. Sticky Mill allows you to stick to like walls and stuff. Energy self recharge. Oh, that could be really nice. Like if you want to like go like make like a. I'll look at the Gleeok over there. If you want to get on, if you like made like a flying machine and you want to go like from one place of the map to the other, that'd be very nice. I mean, you could teleport, but sometimes it's more fun to fly over there. Okay, trust me. I played Tears of the Kingdom twice. Okay, I haven't played it more than twice because. Honestly, I sink more time into Tears of the Kingdom than I do Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, I'm just dashing all over the place, go there, collect things really easily. Tears of the Kingdom is not that way. It's not that easy for you to just, you know, go from one place of the map to the other. And there's so much more to explore, honestly, in Tears of the Kingdom. But hell, I was still in my second playthrough. I haven't finished it. I got busy with life. Life got in the way. Anyways,
In for a daily.
I want to look at the others. Is that hold on?
Once per
Yeah, okay.
day,
We've seen them
you
all.
can spin for a daily bonus.
Oh wait, there was a sneaky one too. See, it's sneaky.
You'll be granted whichever in-game effect it lands on for the day, so give it a try. Good luck.
For the recording, are you talking about the VOD? I'll say this. I love video games. I think they are fantastic for the joys and safety they bring to many. For the record, I'll say this. I've seen firsthand from here, and from my husband, why it can even be life-saving for mental health. It goes, if you're a gamer, I love you. Even if I game maybe for an hour every 5 years, lol. Yeah, I know, like 1 hour every 5 years. Like, chat, hold on. Do y'all know how many hours? Okay, so apparently Steam didn't record my hours before I started doing Stardew for this Stardew season, the Stardew series. But we're at 120 hours now for Stardew on Steam.
Compatible amiibo accessories can be.
That looks like that is a new amiibo because that hand, or maybe it's the one that came out in Tears of the Kingdom, but that hand is only for Tears of the Kingdom. That's Link's old house though. So are you using Tears of the Kingdom emotes in Breath of the Wild?
used to receive in-game
Or no, that's the wait. Yeah, no, that is the Tears of the Kingdom arm. So are you?
items. Zelda
Or are
Note
you just standing there in front of Link's old house to be like, okay, I
keeps
don't know.
track of each amiibo you scan. When you scan an amiibo 5 times, you'll get an additional bonus use of that amiibo.
that's
you can
cool.
normally only scan once per day.
So after 5 times on that 5th day, you can use the same. You could use an amiibo one more time. That's pretty cool. Link Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, see, I know my stuff. I know my Legend of Zelda stuff. Right? Even though Stardew Hours would take about 600 years. No, imagine. Okay. How long do you think it would take Val to reach my cyberpunk hours?
Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch 2 editions. If you already own the Switch games, you can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 editions by purchasing upgrade packs.
Okay, but how much do these upgrade packs cost? Since the base game itself was like $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, are you gonna be like charging $10 because the new base games are gonna be $80? Or like how much are you gonna be charging for these upgrade packs? That's what I want to know. No joke, probably would take me like more than that. Not really a gamer, but I love you. Well, we love you too. It's cool, Val. We all like the same stuff. Yeah, exactly. If we all like the same stuff, then we wouldn't be we wouldn't be our own people. If we all like the same stuff, then life would be boring. I'm glad you're here to support, and that's all that matters to me. Like, you don't have to like games. You can like watching people play games, like you tend to do with me.
Or access the upgrade packs at no additional cost with a paid Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership.
Okay, so it's either you pay for the packs or you get it with your membership.
Plus, these new amiibo figures will also be available.
Wouldn't, or just like you two. Or what do you mean, or just like you two? Oh, so they are making new amiibos. I gotta buy them all. I gotta buy them all. Especially Riju, how do you pronounce her name? And Sidon and Tulin. Bo, you were my least favorite character out of them all. Sorry. I like all these others except for you. You weren't bad, but you were my least favorite out of the 4. They're all $80 Canadian. Not worth it. That's your opinion. To me, totally worth it.
If you scan them in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you might receive a paraglider fabric.
Ooh, that one's definitely Riju's paraglider fabric. I could tell by the colors and design. Hold on, did it show another one before that one though? Oh, it did. That one's definitely Tolan's. Hold on.
Paraglider fabric. Tears of the Kingdom, you might receive a paraglider fabric.
Nope.
New amiibo figures will also be available. If you scan them in The Legend of
Okay, that's Tolan's.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you might receive a paraglider
That one's Riju's.
fabric.
I guess that's all we get to see. They won't show all 4, of course. Okay.